our final panel discussion of the evening, we delve into the critical theme of collaborative innovation, states partnering for collective growth. It is my distinct honor to invite Dr. Sachin Chaturvedi, Director General Research and Information System for Developing Countries, to preside over this significant panel as the chairperson. Dr. Chaturvedi's extensive experience in innovation positions him as an ideal guide for our discussion, and we look forward to his insightful leadership in shaping our discourse. Now let's extend a warm welcome to our esteemed panelists, each bringing unique perspectives and experiences. First, we have Srimati Archana C, the General Manager of KITS, Department of S&T, in the Government of Karnataka, offering insights into collaborative innovation within the vibrant state. Dr. Manish Diwan, Head of Strategic Partnership and Entrepreneurship Development at BIRAC, will share insights in the biotechnology sector and innovation success stories of different states. Lastly, we have Shri Dharam, former advisor to Administrator, Union Territory of Chandigarh, who will share his experiences and perspectives on collaborative innovation within Union Territories. Let's explore how states and Union Territories can collaborate for collective growth and innovation. I now pass it on to Dr. Chaturvedi to lead us through this illuminating discussion.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. This session, as you can make out, is very much oriented to our practical action. How do we take those principles into action? In the previous session, we discussed what are the broad contours of science, technology, strategy, but this is more about practicality of that. How actually states are doing it. What kind of best practices are coming in. But as I said in the previous session, all states are at different stages of economic development. For them, best practices mean very different things to many people. And this is where convergences may come in. In economic literature, a huge literature has evolved in last couple of years on catching up. How do we catch up in technology? What are the ways one can catch up in technology? What are the modalities through which one can catch up? And there are several states which are good examples in terms of how catching up can be done. Catching up can be done in new frontier technologies like biotechnology. It can be done in medical devices. It can also be done in combining or encouraging convergence of the three frontier technologies of ICT, the information communication technology, the nanotechnology, and also, as we see, the biomolecular sciences, the biotech. So this convergence is giving a new range of products to states. But as was mentioned in the previous session, skills, etc. are very important. And this is what in this session we are going to explore. I'm extremely delighted to invite Srimati Archana C, who would bring to us experience of Karnataka, which was mentioned as one of the leading state in science, technology and innovation. So how she looks at the best practices that Karnataka has come up with. So madam, you have the floor.
Good evening, one and all. And when I see the panel, it's very senior people are sitting, and I have a very little experience and exposure towards ITBT Department of Karnataka. And I represent state of Karnataka, that is Department of ITBT. I've come from Karnataka Administrative Service, and I've recently posted. And whatever I feel the best practices of the state, I would just go through. And the best practice can only be made by two things. One is the policy framework, and another one is the how good is the ecosystem. So Karnataka state's startup ecosystem is very favorable and it's doing really good. And the Karnataka strength is we are the best performers in DPIT ranking. And in NITI Aayog from past 3 years in the India Innovation Index, we stand number 1. And in global startup ecosystem, we stand 8th and 20th in ranking. And Karnataka is the first state where we have specific policies for specific sectors like IT, biotechnology, startups, AVGC, ESDM, electric vehicle. And it is most preferred GIC location, that is 34% of India's GCC is it's a home to 41% of GIC talent and 60% of biotechnology companies in India. And India's largest chip design hub, that is 85 plus semiconductor design companies, and it is a home to 70% of India's chip designs. So these are the strengths of Karnataka. And and government of Karnataka has specific policies for sector dependent. Like for startup, we have a startup policy. For BT, we have a biotechnology policy. And engineering research development policy we have, ESDM policy we have, data center policy we have, and animation, visual effects, gaming and comics we have. So when we have policies in place, it's very easy for any ecosystem to grow in a better way. And here, I think just in the previous session, many were asking about how do colleges collaborate with the government and how to inculcate those subjects into the higher education and primary education. I just heard before this. In government of Karnataka, we have something called Skill Advisory Committee. We have something called Skill Advisory Committee where academia, industry and the government has a tie-up. We cannot bring many changes in the academics, it will take long term. The effects of that also is long term. So it's just the government bridges the gap between the industry and the academia. So whatever the skill set is needed by the industry, that is identified by the government, and small time courses are made to the schools and colleges, so that they can skill in the direction what the industry needs. So we have many programs in state of Karnataka for the startups, like we have schemes like Elevate, Grand Challenge and Women Entrepreneurship programs, and we have something called NAIN, that is New Age Incubation Network, which mainly focuses for students, that too in Tier 2 and Tier 3 city, that is except Bangalore, other cities come under Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. So these are the few best practices which we follow, and whatever index and ranking is been done at national and global level, we take it very seriously, because when you take those actionable points to be seriously evaluated, it makes your ecosystem to be in sync with the national and the global level. And for the startups, we always have a life cycle approach. Like first we fund, we incubate, we give them mentors, we collaborate with the incubators and accelerators, and we also give them the outreach program, so that they can have the preferential market access in the national and the global level. And we have grant-in-aid programs, which are a flagship program of ITBT Karnataka, where many startups have been utilized, and they have gone to a greater level, because we have funded some 817 approximately startups from 2016 to till date, and every year 2 times we make this Elevate call, wherein 100 plus 100, that is 200 startups get an grant-in-aid of 50 lakhs. And this is something called Idea to proof of concept. And this is a very good flagship program of Karnataka, and startups have best utilized this. And we have many summits which will be carried out in Karnataka. Like recently we had the Bangalore Tech Summit, wherein we had many MOAs signed. We had very roundtable conferences which was held with different countries, and we have many tie-ups made with them, and we had investors meet. So many forums are there for our startups to get connected and grow to a greater heights. So these are few strategies which are used, and we have many center of excellence and TBIs, and we have 58 plus K-Tech hubs in our state so that the startup ecosystem runs very well and they get very good hand-holding from the state of Karnataka. And we also are moving towards new technologies and emerging technologies, center of excellence like aerospace and defense, agro-innovation, animation and visual effects, machine learning, semiconductor design. In totality, we can say that Karnataka is an ideal breeding ground for innovation. So Karnataka is very strong in its policies and implementing of policies and having a very good operational guidelines, which has set a very good framework so that the startups will have a very good ecosystem, not only at the state level but even at the global level. So I think by telling this, I would say that Karnataka is the best for the startups and it has got a very good ecosystem. And the best practices are done through the policies, guidelines, and constant interaction with the academia, industry, and the government, and all works in sync. And the leaders in the state also works towards, and they are very futuristic in thinking and other things. So it's going to a great level, and consistently we are performing, and we are just taking best practices from other states and inculcating also. So it's making Karnataka a best place for the ecosystem hub. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Archana ji, for bringing out the details in terms of how Karnataka has planned various policy interventions. Let me now have the pleasure of inviting Shri Dharam ji, who was former advisor to the Administrator for Union Territory of Chandigarh. And as I mentioned, we have kept 7 minutes for all, so kindly help us manage the time.
Is it visible? Very good evening. So this is the last session. So I'll try to be brief. I have been already told by the chairperson that I need to wrap it up in 7 minutes time. So I'll try my best maximum, or maybe 8 or 9 minutes. I have till recently I have worked as an advisor to administrator in Chandigarh. I have retired only last month. So I think though I will try to showcase the kind of work that we did during last around 2.5 years in Chandigarh. Each best practices arises out of your vision for development. And our vision for development was guided by these following broad themes: green city, clean city, smart city, heritage preservation and protection, iconic projects and other issues. Chandigarh, as you know, is the only probably planned city in the country, and it has a very unique status. So we were very cautious of what we should do and what we shouldn't do in Chandigarh. There are a lot of heritage issues as well. Under the green city concept, our overall vision, which we did a workshop on with the help of UNDP, and we decided that we need to make Chandigarh carbon neutral by 2030. So there are basically two objectives under that. We want to make Chandigarh as a model solar city, and we want to make Chandigarh as a model EV city. So as far as the work for the solar project is concerned, we at the moment existing solar power capacity in Chandigarh is about 57 or 60 megawatt, and we want to take it to about 100 megawatt by end of the next year. And out of this 57 megawatt, 30.5 megawatt rooftop capacities is in the government sector, and remaining 27 megawatt is in the private sites. And till date, we have produced about 239 units of electricity, and which has led to a reduction of about 1.6 lakh metric ton of carbon CO2 reduction. All our schools are energy neutral. I mean, we don't pay electricity bill. All our energy requirement of schools and also model jail are met through the solar power. And then again, we have the North India's largest floating solar power plant installed at Waterworks Sector 39. Then we have another floating power plant of solar power plant of 500 kilowatt at Dhanas Lake, and recently, as announced by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Chandigarh was included in the country's top 62 innovation stories. And we topped among all the UTs in solar power generation during the financial year 2022-23. And we are targeting, as I said, about 100 megawatt by end of the next year. Under the Green City, we want to make Chandigarh as a model EV city. We have already introduced about 80 electric buses. 100 will be introduced by end of this year. And till now, we have, this has led to CO2 emissions in Chandigarh by about 4,000 metric ton. We have also announced the electric vehicle policy, which was notified in the year September 2022. Till date, already we have registered about 6,000 vehicles have already been registered, and there are various kind of incentives which are being given to the buyers of the electric vehicles. There are early bird incentives. Then we are focusing on the public charging stations and etc. We are again, Chandigarh is a 10 by 10 square kilometer area, so I think we feel that we should promote non-motorized transport in a big way. So Chandigarh at the moment is currently housing India's biggest public bike sharing system. We have 5,000 bicycles with 617 docking stations. There are 3 phases have already been completed, and the 4th phase is going to be launched, I understand, in the next few months. And there is a facility for charging of bicycles on all the sites, and so far almost about 1 lakh rides have been registered under this system. We are also developing 11 green corridor in the city, across the city. The work on 2 have started, and the remaining will be starting in the next year or so. Then we have air purification tower, which is filtering around 3.88 crore cubic feet of air every day. So this is another unique feature that we have in Chandigarh. And we monitor the air quality very rigorously, and we have 3 air quality monitoring stations installed in various parts of Chandigarh. Then we have, under the Green City again, we have a forest cover of 50.5% of total area of 140 square kilometer, which makes Chandigarh as one of the greenest capital in the country. We lay a lot of emphasis on plantation, and we have recently also set up a bird park, which has become a big tourist attraction for the city. These are the different awards that we received under this category. Under the clean city concept, we are targeting that we should ensure 100% collection, segregation and processing of waste. 100% collection and segregation is being done. There was some capacity shortage in the processing part that has also been taken care of. The existing capacity of the plant has been expanded, and now at the moment we are processing 100% of the solid waste being generated. There were 2 dump sites in the city. 1 dump site has been cleared, and the 2nd dump site will be cleared by end of this year. And the existing solid waste management plant is very old, so we are now in the process of setting up a totally state-of-the-art new plant in the city. Then again, C&D, construction and demolition waste plant has also been set up, and we are ensuring 100% processing of construction and demolition waste in the city. We are processing 100% sanitary waste, and the UT has achieved a water plus status, and we have 6 state-of-the-art sewage treatment plant, and 24/7 water supply project has also been initiated. So we were again under we were first in the country to implement an affordable rental housing scheme. This is a part of the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana, and we shifted about 2,000 families from the slums to the rental accommodation with a monthly rental of around 3,000. So this was another one unique initiative that we took in Chandigarh. Then we are collecting the temple floral waste from the city, and then we are converting into incense sticks, earthen diyas, etc. Then Swasthya Ki Pathshala program is being run in almost all the schools, where we create awareness among the students about the segregation of waste and ban on plastic, etc. And we are developing 7 additional water bodies in the city. We have a Sukna Lake, of course, which everybody is aware about that. These are some of the ranking improvement that has taken place over the last 2 years and the award that we have received. We have state-of-the-art under the smart city concept. We have one of the state-of-the-art integrated command and control center, which is basically a brain of the city, from where we can control all the services, whether it's a solid waste management, whether it's a water system or sewage system. Everything can be controlled from this one single location. We have again state of the police command and control center in the city. As you must have noticed, we don't issue manual challans, so the challans are issued automatically. And I was told by the police that recently, as per the data that they have collected, because of this system, there has been reduction of almost 30% reduction in the road accident in the city. We have intelligent transportation system, where we are able to monitor all our local buses. There is an automatic vehicle location system. The ETA and ETD of each bus is displayed on each bus queue shelter. And the smart card solution has also been implemented in the city. We are the first city again to use radar technology to have a 3D map of the city, so which is a great tool for planning purposes. You don't have to go to the field. Once you have this technology, you can do all the survey, all the measurements can be done while sitting in the office itself. So these are another smart city initiative, web-based admissions. Then minimizing regulatory compliances, ease of doing business. We have been able to reduce about out of total 1140 regulation compliances which were identified, we have already completed about 1017. So again, we have been declared as the first in the mobility category. This is Best UT Award.
1 minute.
Just 1 minute, I'll just wrap it up. Then heritage protection, Sector 17 Capital Complex, we take care of it. A lot of work is being carried on that. And then Air Force Heritage Center was recently inaugurated by Honorable Defense Minister. And then we are also working on the malnutrition-free city. And then under the health and education sector, there are different initiatives. Then we are working on anemia-free city, a lot of work happening on that. And recently when I left, we also initiated a TB Mukt Chandigarh campaign, so that I think another 6 months or so, we should be able to declare Chandigarh as a TB-free city. Thank you so much. These are a list of different awards that we have received.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dharam for helping us understand what exactly is happening in Chandigarh. This was quite illuminating. Friends, अब मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि मैं डॉक्टर मनीष दीवान को बुला रहा हूँ. 2 बातें हैं. जिन राज्यों में आप लोग अलग अलग काम देख रहे होंगे साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी इनोवेशन का, या यहाँ पर राज्यों के नीति आयोग से भी लोग आए हुए हैं, कई जगह आप लोगों ने एक लिमिटेशन देखा होगा कि सरकार या सरकार का विभाग कुछ वो काम नहीं कर पाता है जो अगर हम सेक्शन 8 में कोई कंपनी बना दें और वो कंपनी ज़्यादा एफिशिएंटली इनोवेशन के एरियाज़ में काम कर सकती है. ऐसा एक महत्वपूर्ण कदम भारत सरकार का जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी है उसने उठाया, और उसने सेक्शन 8 में बायरेक नाम की एक कंपनी बनाई. मनीष दीवान जी उस कंपनी से हमारे साथ में हैं. वो हमें बताएंगे 3 बातें. बायरेक के साथ में हम क्या एक्टिविटीज़ कर रहे हैं, बायरेक का रिलेवेंस, इम्पोर्टेंस और कंटेक्स्ट कैसा है. ये 3 बातें हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हैं, और इसलिए आई वुड नाउ रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर मनीष दीवान टू स्पीक फ्रॉम हियर और व्हाटएवर.
नमस्कार. I represent BIRAC, and BIRAC is supporting biotech innovation ecosystem in the country. That means कि नया innovation भी create करना है और वो innovation आगे चल के manufacture हो, industry built strong हो, वो products, technologies सबके लिए, इंडिया के लिए, फ्रॉम इंडिया, फॉर इंडिया एंड फॉर द वर्ल्ड, ये हमारा मोटो है, प्रिमाइस है. The kind of spectrum that we cater to, that includes healthcare, which includes medical devices, diagnostics, vaccines, drugs, therapeutics, नए तकनीक जैसे प्रिसीजन मेडिसिन, सेल एंड जीन थेरेपी, जो सबको एक्सेसिबल नहीं है, इट्स वेरी कॉस्ट इंटेंसिव. कैन वी मेक देम इन इंडिया? कैन वी इनोवेट एंड मेक इट अफोर्डेबल एंड एक्सेसिबल एंड स्केलेबल? सो ये हेल्थ टेक वाला सेक्टर है. फिर एक इंडस्ट्रियल बायोटेक्नोलॉजी सेक्टर है जिसमें आप फॉर एग्जांपल 2G इथेनॉल का बात करते हैं, बायोगैस का बात करते हैं, बायो फर्टिलाइजर्स, बायो पेस्टिसाइड्स, replacement of chemicals with the biotech enabled scientifically validated products and technologies. So that is a huge belt and a huge headroom to cover and potentially generate an opportunity which is relatively less access in India. ये वाला इशू इट्स नॉट लिमिटेड टू इंडिया. फॉर एग्जांपल हमारा जो कमिटमेंट है कार्बन नेट ज़ीरो का, दैट इज़ ए ग्लोबल चैलेंज. अभी धर्मपाल जी ने मेंशन किया एक बायो रेमीडिएशन इज़ ए चैलेंज एंड दे हैव मेड सम अटेम्प्ट. सो इस तरह बायोटेक सेक्टर काफ़ी सारे एरियाज़ को इम्पैक्ट करता है विदाउट वी रिलेटिंग टू इट कि ये डीप अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ मॉलिक्यूलर बायोलॉजी और जेनेटिक्स और gene silencing, engineering, management, physics, chemistry, it integrates lot of sciences together to create one product and solution. इसी तरह एग्री टेक में नई वेराइटीज़, हीट रेजिस्टेंट, लेस सेंसिटिव टू स्ट्रेस, water excess, or pest management in terms of both pre-harvesting, post-harvesting and crop management. So बहुत सारा एरिया में काम करता है. और जब आपका क्रॉप आपने हार्वेस्ट भी कर लिया, उसके बाद जो रेजिड्यू बच गया, वेस्ट बच जाता है डे टू डे लाइफ का. सो ऑल आई वांटेड टू सेट द स्टेजेस कि दैट इज़ व्हाट इट कवर्स ऑल अक्रॉस. सो जस्ट लाइक जैसे BCCI है विच इज़ ए सेंट्रल बॉडी और डिफरेंट IPL टीम्स हैं, they are all playing, और किसी का भी success, it is a success of BCCI. So similarly, BIRAC or DBT, we are playing a central enabling activity for the entire nation. So we fund and promote and build that infrastructure all across the countries, and all states are equal to us. So what we see when we distribute these resources on national competitive level, some states which are more progressive, more proactive, their states beneficiaries take the most of the chunk of that opportunity that is being shared through at the national level. So जैसे Karnataka is a progressive state in the biotech sector, Tamil Nadu, नीचे Maharashtra, some of these states have really progressed to a higher level. Their cluster is more mature, but some states they are yet to pick up on the biotech sector. So we get to see a gradation from very low to almost like a spike on the left hand side. If you see the states which have active biotech state policies, which is implemented as well. So it directly relates to the benefits of the state residents that it gets to. When we say the common access infrastructure, that also follows the almost like same gradation, because those state players, actors, they apply and they compete and they get those opportunities. So in last 5-6 years, what I have seen is from 5, 6 states which had a dedicated biotech state policy. Today we have 22 states with a defined biotech state policies. Now, एक challenge है इसमें, but we get to see on a day-to-day level, the bureaucratic like personnel which anchor this activity at the state level, they get to change after every few years, 3 years or so. So जो कोई नया लीडर आता है तो वो सारा का सारा वो दोबारा से ज़ीरो से स्टार्ट होता है सारा साइकिल. अगर हमारा स्टेट पॉलिसीज और फ्रेमवर्क are very clear and are study with a clear vision, then I think a follow up commitment रहता है सारा नया मशीनरी जो आता है. तो मेरा एक अर्ज रहेगा सारे स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव से that we build a consensus and build a very strong detailed policy that is implementable by kind of an SOP. If this is met, we can take this action. If this is not met, we can put it into this basket. Or so ease of doing business and ease of doing science can actually be translated with a long-term sustainable policies and vision. I quote one example. In the state of Telangana, Jayesh Ranjan ji is there for a very, very long time. And I quote this without hesitation. We need champions, local champions to anchor that activity and take it long way. 3 साल 5 साल में कुछ नहीं होता. We need 5 years, 10 years to lay the foundation and then reap the benefit. And we have learned it because biotech ecosystem में we need that amount of gestation period. I think I am also of a view that everybody doesn't need to struggle and get through the same hassle and follow the same learning path. We should be able to understand, interact, and adopt some of the best practices from our peer states. Some states have learned this hard way and gone through the struggle, but they have created that marvel over 10, 15 years, 20 years. But new states which intend to do the same thing, they can pick up the best practices right away. We had the Global Bio India 2023 and just got culminated today. We had a state interaction, state representative interaction with the industry and investors. And Karnataka was also there along with 7, 8 states. So ma'am, बुरा मत मानिएगा. So I wanted to quote one thing, which is a USP of Karnataka state. Just like if you go to Reliance, Chroma, those kind of stores, and you say that this price is higher, they would say that we will price match it with whatever is showing in online or other store. So Karnataka has the same policy. So an industry person who wants to make an investment, if he goes to, let's say, XY state and gets a term sheet, so-called term sheet, so they go to Karnataka and say that this is what I got and this is better than what you are offering. They say that we will match that deal and actually better that deal, whatever you are getting. So that's a best practice model they are following. I also want to share at the same note that it's not always incentives and benefits. There are a lot of other things which also come into play. Once you set up greenfield, brownfield projects in a particular state, the investor is also looking for a pool of talent that can be locally engaged, the logistics, vendor chain supplies, raw material, local infrastructure, the research institutions, experts, mentors, and which attract and nucleate the presence and visits of different stakeholders to that area. So I think, and plus the geographical benefit. Some places we have the, in terms of biotech, it's biotech hotspots. So bioresources are rich in certain areas, unlike in others. Some are green belts, agri-driven particular crops. So a variety of things make the difference, and there is enough that all the states can get benefited. I have three small asks from the states, which I would take maybe 1 minute or so, won't take much. The innovation ecosystem, lot of startups are there, which have progressed with a product and technology which is affordable, accessible, tested. So my request is if states can come forward and adopt some of those technologies into their, let's say, healthcare ecosystem. Don't fund, but just let them access the ecosystem, get implemented at CHC, PHC level or Anganwadi workers, ASHA worker, that kind of a level. That is a huge adoption of technology right next to the test beds. Second, uh, when we map the India's bioeconomy, we are able to see that it has been growing in double digits for past several years. Since we were mapping it, we get to see its progress from, let's say, $44 billion in 2016-17 to now $137 billion. This has helped us in two ways, not only us, like a nation as a whole, that we were able to correct our target. We initially set $100 billion by 2025. But during the course of projection, we realized we can achieve much higher. We then improvised that target to 150 billion for 2025. Then we realized that we are progressing and following a path. Now we have set up the target for the nation as 300 billion by 2030. My urge to the states is that kindly consider this new scale of mapping economy, which is globally accepted. Kindly set a target for each state, your state, that I want to achieve, let's say, this X billion dollars by so and so time. It helps to progress you as well as nation as a whole. We will have a collective target to meet, and probably we will be able to achieve and better it in the collective effort. That would be all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Manish, for capturing a huge canvas. I see that this is already 3 minutes past our scheduled closing time. I would look at Dr. Sinha or other organizers to tell me if we have scope to pick up one or two questions from the floor. I already see Secretary DST and all other esteemed panel members are here for the next panel. Do we have 1 or 2 minutes, Dr. Sinha? So I would very much like to open the floor and would encourage our participants from different states to come up with questions. जो भी आपके दिमाग में clarification चाहिए, कोई सवाल आपके दिमाग में हो, कुछ आपका observation हो, भाषण न दें, अगर छोटी बात कहें और अपना परिचय दें तो अच्छा होगा.
Good evening to all. Myself, Nehru, Deputy Director Science from Andaman Nicobar Islands. I want to ask question from Srimati Archana Madam. Madam, you said the constant interaction with industries and academic, which will be useful for the students of community. So you can specifically can tell us in which step you took it for the interaction will be useful for the academic and the industries for the students of the community in India.
So I would pick up 2-3 questions and then Mr. Nehru, we can. Do I see any more hands in the room? Anyone else who is interested in making any observation? Yes, I see here in the middle.
Good afternoon.
Yes, yes.
Would the speakers from the states also kindly provide information on, with examples, on how they have been able to mobilize the S&T councils in their states to stimulate innovation? Thank you.
Thank you. So, anyone? Yes, Andaman Nicobar.
Is there a hand-holding policy of BIRAC for the states or UTs who are not catching up?
Very good. So we have got 3 questions. I don't see any more hands. So I close the round and would go to our panelists. So, Ms. Archana, why don't we start with you?
You asked me about the interaction between the academia, government, and industry. Are you specifically asking for the college students? Okay, so we have a program called NAIN, that is New Age Innovation Network. This program is specifically for the engineering graduates in Karnataka, wherein we'll be giving 10 lakhs upfront amount for them to start their projects, and for each project we'll be giving them, funding them 3 lakhs, and 15 projects will be taken up every year in the particular NAIN college, and this is only for tier 2 and tier 3 cities, wherein we give more impetus on the rural innovation. And the innovation should start from the budding age group, so we have kept this only for the engineering graduates. And we also have a skill advisory committee wherein the inputs are given from the academia, industry, and the government formulates a task group or a working group which bridges the gap between the college students and which kind of skill set does the industry need. Apart from academics, what is the skill set? That is an extra bonus they need to train the students and get back to the industry. I think I have answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
To answer the question regarding state handholding for states, yes, we do. There is a Make in India facilitation cell for biotech sector that DBT has set up in BIRAC. So that helps and works closely with the states to build and strengthen their state policies and also guide for the implementation. A lot of states have actually directly imbibed the schemes and programs of BIRAC, especially for the innovation side. I think those also serve as a good guidance.
Thank you. Thank you. So we had very rich round. I think if I have to summarize, I would just pick up 5 very good points which have emerged in this panel discussion. First and foremost is where Dr. Manish closed and the point that came up, both in terms of not specific to BIRAC, but also as we heard Mr. Dharam mentioning it, in terms of how states may do necessary initiatives in different realm of technologies, but NITI here in Delhi may help in terms of facilitating this hand-holding process, because we need some connecting link. And as I said already, the idea is envisaged where science technology ministries and their ecosystem are connected with states, but NITI has all the more strong interface, and this is where some of the members have been given different states and they are already coordinating. So I think one linkage here which is very clear is to have the science technology ecosystem getting connected with the states. This, I think, is first and foremost lesson that is coming in, be that what we heard from Dharampalji in terms of new energy sources, the green corridors that they have established, the clean city and connect with the smart city, the floral waste collection, awareness for students. There are several programs of the central government to this effect. How do we connect states with that? So this is the first point that I'm trying to make. The second is in terms of what Dr. Manish said in terms of capacities. How BIRAC and BIRAC related initiatives among the students, which Archana ji also answered for higher education component, Dharampalji mentioned in context of floral waste connection with capacities at the school level. So we need to create these capacities at different levels and take that forward. Third, and I think a very important point that has emerged is in terms of the lessons that we can learn from Karnataka's experience. This is about the GCC, but also CROs, which also play an extremely important role in Karnataka. So here, the issue gets slightly magnified. Here, issue is not about science, technology, innovation alone, and that's where role of people who are here from Planning Commission of States and Niti Aayog, because it is an interface of Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Science and Technology, and Planning, or Niti Aayog of states. So this interface is extremely important. The point that she mentioned in terms of chip designing, sectoral dependence in policy framework, enabling mechanisms like incubators. Now, incubators, science and technology ministries themselves can create, but they require finance. At the central level, the ecosystem is well set for DST to do that, or DBT to do that. At the state level, it gets all the more narrowly focused, and the state R&D expenditure is minuscule in terms of the overall expenditure. So how do we create that awareness? How do we bring in that sensitivity? How do we expand that bandwidth to bring in STI, because even universities are struggling. So I remember our member Dr. Saraswat has been raising this issue as to why state universities are not getting funds for science departments. So that's the third point. Fourth and last, I think, which has emerged as extremely important is what Dr. Manish mentioned in terms of building up SOPs for action-oriented policies. And this is where I think the traction for bioeconomy comes in. There is one more issue which I wanted to cover, but I would leave it for the next session, which is about STI indicators. He mentioned about it. Incidentally, I was involved in Canada's bioeconomy indicators, which were evolved in 2002-2003 from OECD. I was part of the committee and we evolved. Since then, we have been envisaging India to have bioeconomy specific indicators and India to adopt this new framework on STI indicators. But that I leave for the next session. We stop here. A big hand for my panel. And I thank the organizers. Back to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. As we wrap our final session, we would like to present a small gesture of gratitude to the panelists. I would like to invite Dr. Ashon Sodkusre to felicitate the panelists.